Good day, I bid to all. My name is Marion Chin Han Bei, a third-year student in the English Language Studies program. The topic of my presentation today is the power of spoken words, critical discourse analysis, and speech acts in Syed Saddiq's Tedx talk. First of all, Van Dyck defines political discourse as text or talk about a political subject or that is politically motivated. He also states that political discourse is extremely ideological. Moreover, political discourse is regarded as a struggle for power between people who want to maintain their power and people who want to resist their power. Wilson reveals that through political discourse, worldviews can be altered and even manipulated, which shows the potential influence of political discourse on social processes. Hence, ideally, all political discourse should be able to perform its social-political goals, make an impact, and the implemented strategies in the discourse should be identified. However, in reality, it is hard to determine whether a certain political discourse is impactful due to its complexity. Hence, suitable approaches to analyze the effectiveness and implemented strategies of the political discourse can be adopted. In this case, the three-dimensional CDA model by Fairclough and speech act theory by Searle are adopted as a systemic linguistic study. The importance of this research roots from Syed Saddiq's position as a young Malaysian politician and activist who has served as a member of parliament for MUA since May 2018 in Malaysia. Among his countless speeches, Syed Saddiq's Tedx talk about youth and politics in Malaysia is chosen to be the focus of this research, as he was elected as the Cabinet Minister of Youth and Sports, which hints that the speech has gained him favor from the youths in Malaysia. Moreover, the speech actually entails Syed Saddiq's political ideologies, which makes this speech worthy of research. The purpose of this study is to investigate how speech acts are applied in Syed Saddiq's speech to achieve its social-political goals, as well as to provide a systemic analysis of the intentions, power relations, social problems, and other relationships between the discourse and the social processes locally in Malaysia and even globally. The first research objective of this study is to identify the types of speech acts utilized in the youth and politics TEDx talk given by Syed Saddiq. Next, to analyze the interpreted intentions in the speech from Malaysians. And lastly, to evaluate the effectiveness of the speech. Next, I will be presenting on literature review. The literature review of past studies regarding speech act analysis and CDA of political discourse are done. Moving on, the first theory that is applied in this study is the theory of political discourse as defined by Van Dyck. Through examining the contextual characteristic of the speech based on the 6 categories outlined, the speech is deemed suitable to serve as the data for the study. Next, the speech act theory by Searle is applied in this study as well. Besides, in viewing language as a discourse and a social practice, the three-dimensional CDA framework by Fairclough is adopted in this study. Next, I will be presenting on methodology. The data for this study is a selected speech of Syed Saddiq bin Syed Abdul Rahman, a Malaysian politician. The topic of the speech is A Lost Generation, Youth and Politics, delivered during the TEDx talk at Monash University, Malaysia, and was made available on the internet. The recording of the speech was transcribed for the analysis. Moving on to quantitative data and analysis, from the transcribed speech, speech acts were identified, tabulated, and converted into numerous for statistical analysis. As for the data analysis for qualitative data, CDA was employed in the study. I will now present the findings of the study. A total of 167 sentences were analyzed as the data. The data for the speech act analysis revealed that representative acts account for the largest proportion, which is 74%, while directive acts rank second, followed by commissive and expressive acts. Declarative acts are non-existent in the speech. The use of representative acts highlighted Syed Saddiq's beliefs regarding youth participation in politics. Besides, performative verbs expressing the directive acts, including modal verbs namely need and must, are used to call for the collaboration of every youth to overcome the challenges. Moreover, it is worth noting that commissive acts only occur at the beginning and the end of the speech to express Syed Saddiq's determination to represent the youth and make their voices heard. Next, expressive acts identified in the data, including thanking, inspiring, encouraging, and apologizing. In addition, it is important to note that declarative acts do not occur in the speech, as the main purpose of the speech is to inform and persuade the audience to comply with his ideologies. Next, the critical discourse analysis applied to the speech investigates the efficacy of a systemic analysis of text as provided. At description level, the linguistic features of the speech, namely the use of pronouns and rhetoric, are observed. For instance, the use of pronoun we, us, and our are used inclusively to show alignment with the use and presupposes the presence of a they, those who are against youth participation in politics. Next, pronoun I underscores the humble autobiography of Syed Saddiq and his personal experiences, achievements, and pleasures. And the pronoun you are used to bond with the audience and transpose his political interests as the interests of the audience. The use of rhetoric or grand style is prominent in Syed Saddiq's speech as well. At interpretation level, the presence of presupposition is observed. For instance, the existence of a political party opposing youth involvement in politics, possibly Syed Saddiq's political opponents, is presupposed with the use of pronouns. Syed Saddiq actually revealed a power struggle of youth in Malaysia's politics by using presuppositions strategically. Furthermore, at explanation level, the presence of social determinants, namely the power struggle and political oppression of youths, has revealed power struggle and contributed in gaining power in the speech. Syed Saddiq's ideologies of supporting youth empowerment in politics are implied in the speech as well. Additionally, language and power were evidently portrayed in the speech, as 2 years after the delivery of the speech, the bill to lower the voting and electoral age to 18 was approved in Malaysia. Although there is no direct evidence that the particular social change happened due to the power of this speech, it can be inferred that the speech has served as the platform for Syed Saddiq to express his ideology regarding youth participation in politics, and he has proven that he is capable of realizing his visions that was outlined in the speech. This indirectly displays the impact of the speech on the social processes of Malaysia. In conclusion, the analysis of speech acts reveals that representative and directive acts were the most frequently used speech acts in his speech regarding youth participation in politics. This is then inferred that the main purpose of the speech is to raise awareness of youth empowerment and motivate the youth to take action. Moreover, the CDA approach applied to the speech reveals the relationship between the power of words and ideology. Social cultural practices are reflected in the discourse, and the discourse in turn influences the social cultural practices. It shows that language has become a powerful tool in unpacking the speaker's ideologies, which makes the speech impactful. Lastly, it is suggested that future studies can compare the differences that exist between the written speech discourse and the spoken speech that was delivered by Syed Saddiq. It is also suggested that future studies may explore the intonation, tone, as well as other non-verbal communication used in the speech. I would like to end my presentation with a thank you. Stay safe and have a nice day.